Hello family, welcome back to another YouTube video. If it's your first time here, welcome. My name is Lucy Brown. I sure do hope that you enjoy this video and enjoy the content as well. And if you do indeed, please do make sure that you consider becoming part of this family by hitting the subscribe button down below. Please do make sure that you like the video as well, and if you would like to be notified whenever I upload new and crispy fresh content, which is by the way every Mondays and Wednesdays, please do make sure that you smash the notification bell down below. As you've seen from the title of the video, today we are discussing how to heal from a heartbreak. And chances are the majority of us have been in a place where we've been heartbroken. And I've heard some people say that, I used to be a certain way, or I used to be loving, I used to be kind, and all these things up until I experienced a traumatic heartbreak. So heartbreak is a thing. It is a thing. And if we don't deal with heartbreak in a healthy and in a good way, it can get us to a place where we are acting besides ourselves or carrying around baggage from past hurts. Coming to actually think about it, I actually remember going through a heartbreak like years back. And all I remember was that I knew that obviously I had to go to work and fulfill my duties. I just remember thinking why haven't they created leave for breakups or heartbreak? Why haven't they created breakup leave? Because that was just how hectic it was. And so there's just no getting around it. Breakups are terrible. Even when they are handled with compassion, even when the breakup was not traumatic or there was no big fight, they are just terrible. It's almost as if breakups are a grieving process. Actually, no, they are a grieving process with a wide range of emotions. If you've been broken up with, you're dealing with the very pain of rejection on top of mourning a lost love. Or if you're the one who chose to break things off, you're often dealing with guilt which is swirled in your sadness. And so a big part of that grief actually comes from the loss of what you thought your future would look like with this person. And there's this misconception that comes with heartbreak where oftenly people think that the grief of letting go of someone or the grief of heartbreak oftenly or only comes with long-term relationships or relationships that lasted for years. Whereas that is not true. There is no time limit of how much a split or breakup can hurt. Whether it was a 6-week fling or 6-year relationship, losing a person that you genuinely loved or cared for is just painful and it takes time to heal. So let's get right into it on how to heal from heartbreak. Number 1, allow yourself time to grieve. No matter the circumstances of your split, first and foremost, your feelings are valid. And processing all those emotions and those feelings that you're feeling is a journey in itself. I mean, to a certain extent, you are actually losing a certain part of your life or a big part of your life when you're actually breaking up with the person or when you have broken up with the person. I've actually seen this quote that has been doing the rounds on the socials a few days back, and it was something like, it's crazy of how you go from this person was a stranger, you knew them, they became a friend, for instance, you dated them, and back to a stranger. And that's the reality of a breakup. Yes, at some point this person was a stranger, but then they became a friend. They became a person that you confided in. They became your lover. So there was part of your life that you shared with this person. They've probably been a daily feature in your life for some time. And that's truly the loss that you are then grieving. The loss of a friend, the loss of a person that you confided in, the loss of a person who was just part of your life. And during this time, you may feel as if you're losing your mind or something. You may even get to a point where you even feel like you lost any hope that you'll find someone for you, or that because it isn't this person, then there's no one out there for you. It's all okay to really feel all of those feelings. Point number 2, surround yourself with a good and a healthy support system. Keywords: good and healthy, but you need to surround yourself with a support system. If you've been through a heartbreak before, you'll know very well that during the very early stages of a heartbreak, you don't feel so great. You are not your best self. You don't want to eat. I guess the eating part, it depends, because some people are comfort eaters. You're not feeling your best self. You just want to sleep all day. You just want to be indoors. I mean, your heart is just telling you, like, just stay indoors and ignore the whole world. But while you might not be feeling the best of yourself, it is so much easier to go through and to walk through a breakup when you're not doing it alone. So you need to lean on your support system. Allow your friends and your family to really be there for you and to support you. Go out and do things with your family and your friends that's really going to distract you and get your mind off of the breakup. Trust me, it will make you feel better than just trying to be alone or sleeping all day. It is important to find something that's going to help you deal with your emotions, everything that you're going through, in a healthy and a positive way. And I'm saying positive way because there's often a lot of anger and extreme sadness that you're feeling within yourself. And so it can be very easy to deal with whatever you are feeling in an unhealthy way. And that is why it is extremely important to be strict with the type of people, with the type of friends, type of family that you stick to during this time. You want to be around people who are really going to bring out the best version of yourself. Your heart is very fragile at this time, and so you need to make sure that you pamper it well by making sure that the company, the support system that you keep around you is healthy and good for you. Point number 3, expect healing to take time. Here's the harsh truth. Healing is probably going to take some time, and that's why I don't buy the thing of when people just broke up, all of a sudden they're living their most best lives, they're ready to move on to a next relationship, posting new people, and all of those shenanigans that gives off vibes as if you're fine and you're well and you're okay, whereas you just broke up with the person. For me, it's one of the two. Either number one, the person or the relationship didn't mean that much or was not valuable to you, and hence when it broke off you could just live your life and it was not a thing for you, the breakup is not a thing for you. Or either number two, you are pretending. And then obviously there's the case where some people check out of relationships way before the actual breakup, and when the actual breakup comes or is official, they're not going through as much because they did that mourning stage and grieving the relationship. Maybe that's another category on its own. But for the majority of us, healing takes time, whether it be a romantic relationship, whether it be a friendship, sometimes even a relationship that you have with a church, leaving a church and moving on to another church. Breakups are just, they take time. The healing of breakups take time. At times you may have a string of good days where you're like, I've got this, like I'm over this person, like everything is all well and good, up until something triggers you, something reminds you of this person, an advert reminds you of this person, just something triggers you and reminds you to this person, and before you know it, you are back to square one. And that's to say, days aren't going to be the same. You're going to have good days and you're going to have not so great days. And that's because recovering doesn't always look linear. Sometimes strong emotions may show up out of the blue, and that should be expected because healing and recovering from a breakup takes time. Point number 4, and I know some of you are just gonna ridicule me for this, but point number 4, don't stay friends. Please, I repeat, don't stay friends. At least not right after or at the early stages of the breakup. If you were to truly go according to what I'm saying, I would say unless you have a child with this person, or unless you have something that's really binding with or binding you to this person or binding to this person, delete their numbers. Delete their numbers off your cell phone. I know that keeping the connection keeps things civil and that it can make the transitioning seem less abrupt, but it's a tough task, and at the early stages of a breakup, I just don't think you should be putting yourself up to such a heavy task. A post-breakup friendship may well happen in time, and that is the key word here, time. Very few exes can make a seamless transition into friendship immediately. And if you aren't truly convinced and you want to play the good ex, you want to play the ex that has no trauma, it's really not that deep, so you think, what you will notice is that these two people will be good up until one of them decides to start dating someone new. The feelings of jealousy starts to resurface and all of those not so nice things. So it's not a good idea. Over and above that, staying friends with an ex at an early stage or at the very early stages of the breakup can even make it harder for you yourself to move on and to find a new romantic partner. Also, deleting their numbers will help with the urge of wanting to call them when you're feeling lonely, or suddenly when you're feeling excited and then you just decide, like, I'm feeling brave enough, let me just call him, or even the impulse to send this person text. Point number 5, stay away from their socials. Stay away from their social media accounts. Facebook, Instagram, and all these social media platforms can be pure poison for a broken heart. While there might be a temporary and a gratifying feeling of going through a person's socials, checking what they're up to, refreshing their pages, trying to find out what they're up to, who they're up to, trying to decode whether they're happy or not through a picture, mind you, all of that behavior is just going to hurt you and it's just going to delay your healing process. And while for some, unfollowing a person, blocking a person, deleting numbers might seem as an unkind thing to do, feel free to block them in the name of mental health. Or if you feel like blocking them, deleting their numbers is a bit extreme for you, Facebook does have a feature where you can actually snooze a friend, where you don't see their posts on your feed for about 30 days, or even what that's obviously if you're still on Facebook, or if the person is still on Facebook. Or even if you decide that you don't want to delete the person's numbers, you want to keep the person's numbers, you can actually mute the person's statuses so that you don't see the person's statuses. But the problem with that is that you still need the willpower to still not go to their profiles and check what they're busy with in their life or what's up in their lives, because you can't lose a person and still go to their profile, go through their feed, or you can actually mute a person on WhatsApp and still go back and unmute them. So that one takes a whole lot of discipline. And the same goes for their friends and family. If you feel like their social media updates is not going to help you and is going to make you obsess about your ex's every move, delete them or remove them off your social media. Remember, the key thing and the most important thing here is your mental health. Point number 6, rediscover yourself. Relationships often shape us, and breakups can shake us to our core. Our sense of identity can easily get tangled up to our partners or even the relationship holistically. And this is why I think breakups can be much more painful for certain people. And the type of people that when they are in relationships, they tend to idolize the person who they are in a relationship with, or they tend to idolize the relationship itself. They break off friendships that they have, they cut off communication from their family, their friends. Everything is literally about this person that they are in a relationship with. And so for that type of person, going through a breakup actually feels like they are losing their identity. Everything you literally did, you did with this person. While it's normal to spend a lot of time with a romantic partner, you can easily get to a point where you do things just because they like the things. And it's not that you hate the things altogether. You just like, let me just compromise. So let's just rather eat whatever you like eating, because I'm not a fussy thinker. To a point that you even forget, like, what do you enjoy eating? What are the things that you like doing? What are the things you enjoy doing on your own or outside of your relationship? Reflecting on who we are in the now, reflecting on who we are now that we don't have a partner or the influence of a partner, is a very important step in moving on. In a nutshell, return to the things that you enjoy doing that they didn't necessarily enjoy doing. Reconnect with parts of yourself that were neglected during the relationship. And finally, point number 7, when you are ready, forgive. Forgive yourself for the mistakes that you made in the relationship and forgive the other person as well. As the common saying goes, we don't forgive for the sake of that person, we forgive for the sake of ourselves. There's something so freeing about forgiveness and about forgiving and not placing your forgiveness in the hands of someone else. In this case, when you don't leave it up to someone else or wait for them to apologize, wait for them to say something in order for you to forgive them, you help yourself move on. You help yourself move on from the pain and the bitterness that you're feeling within yourself. So when you are truly ready, forgive the person. Forgive yourself, forgive the person. Letting go of all the bitterness of the hurt and just forgiving the person will then help you to find that friendship with an ex eventually. That's obviously if the both parties want a type of friendship. I think then it's possibly a healthy option to then have an ex as a friend. I mean, there's some people that from the get-go, you guys were not even meant to date. You guys were perhaps destiny helpers, you guys were meant to be friends, or you guys are meant to be business partners, but you guys just decided to ruin it by dating. And I don't think that the whole thing should be thrown away just because of that mistake. I don't know if I should call it a mistake, but of that mistake, for a lack of a better word, of that mistake that you guys decided to take by dating. I truly do think once there's forgiveness, once the two parties have truly moved on, that a true, genuine relationship can be maintained or can be reinstated, obviously with boundaries. So yeah, guys, that is it on today's video. Please do leave a comment down below. Tell me, what did you think of this video? Please also make sure that you give this video a thumbs up as well. Can you guys just please speak to our employers to tell them to give us heartbreak leave? Because it's a thing, guys. Like, it's a thing. Well, thank you so much, guys, for tuning in and watching the video. Please do make sure that if you have not subscribed by now, please do make sure that you hit the subscribe button down below. If you would also like to be notified whenever I upload fresh, crispy content, please do also make sure that you smash the notification bell down below. Thank you so much for your time, and I'll see you on the next one.